Hi, my name is Wenxin, and this is my story. I grew up in China. I had been a Buddhist for at least 10 years before I moved to Britain, and for the first time I went to church and met some church friends. They were very impressive. I felt very much connected to them at that point, and I just wanted to become one of them, become a Christian. But somehow it just didn't fit me well. I've been living in this neighborhood for 3 years before I first realized that there was church here. And that was the week before Easter that I saw the road signs, which is around our churches. And they're so professional, out there. And I just decided, why don't I give it a try here? The first time I came here was 1 week after I saw those road signs, which was Easter. And I came here. I remember the first time I went in, it was more like a social event here because people were in the lobby talking to each other and they seemed so happy. It didn't really seem too much like a church. And I went to that Sunday service and that first impression was I saw the worship band. They were so cool. Again, they were just not like the churches that I've been to. And I remember that the sermon, there was a lot of something in the sermon that touched me, touched my heart very well. When Pastor Andy asked everyone that, do you think this might be the day that you wanna blah 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 and follow Christ? I don't quite remember what he said before that. But when he said follow Christ, I kind of felt a shock on my mind. And so he asked everyone to just close their eyes. And I did as well. He asked, if you feel that this is the day, just raise your hand. I didn't want to do that when he was asking that because I just felt it might be too much of a sudden decision and people shouldn't be making a decision that just comes into their mind and you do that and later you will regret it. Pastor Andy asked again, if you feel today is the day that you accept Christ, raise your hand. I kind of felt that there is a hint that he asked the second time, because what if he didn't ask the second time? And might it be that someone that I didn't realize who is talking to me through this second chance, that it's not just a random decision, but it might be a right decision that I should take. And I raised my hand. There is an interesting side of the story of how I came to our church and how I got baptized here from my friend Grace. I met Grace in the church in Milpitas, which was known to me as her home church. The first time when I came to South Bay, I texted Grace and I said, I found a cool church here and you got to come over to check it out. Grace texted me back and said she also knew this church and she had been here for several times. That was my only knowledge about her story to the day I got baptized. After our celebration lunch, Grace said to me that she's got something to show me. She led me to the wall behind the curtains by the baptism pool. On that wall, I saw my name written on it, the name that I used to go by when I met Grace. And next to the name, there was also a date. The date came from September last year. Now remember, the first time I came to our church was this April. And by last September, I wasn't a Christian. I knew nothing about the church, and I knew nothing about the event happening at that time. People here were praying for their friends, and they wrote the names of their friends on that wall. Grace also prayed for me. Grace prayed that God would look after me in His own way and in His own plan. And half a year later, for the first time, I came to our church. After accepting Christ in my life, I'm saying this to you. Accepting Christ doesn't really mean that problems just go away. It doesn't mean that you for sure have a bright future. But it means love and it means peace. And it means that God is there and He's going through the problems with you. And He's watching over you.